Hi everybody, welcome to You Can Do Math. Today we are going to find two things actually. We're going to find the volume and the surface area for a sphere. Now sphere is a three-dimensional object and we know them as like a ball, right? A basketball, the earth. Well, we don't say earth is a ball, but you get what I mean. All right guys, let's get started. All right, we're going to start off with the volume of a sphere. And the formula for a volume of a sphere, to find the volume, right, if we were to fill up that ball, it would be 4/3, 4 over 3 times pi times the radius that is cubed to the third power. So if you take a look at the example, our first example, you'll notice that we've been given the diameter. The diameter is the distance all the way across the center of the sphere, and it is 12 miles. So we need to find the radius, and hopefully you're pretty good at this by now because you know that the radius is half of the diameter, so that would be 6 miles. So now that we've done that, that is, if you look at the formula, the only variable that we need to find and plug in. So now you can do 4/3 pi 6 to the third power. And this is just how I kind of do this. Or are other ways too, obviously, in math, and that's why it's so beautiful. But this is just a strategy that I use that works for me. What I'll do is I'll perform 6 to the third power first. And so 6 to the third power is 6 times 6 times 6, which is 216. So I'll write down 216 pi and then 4 over 3. So in the calculator, what I'll do is I will take this 216 and I will multiply it by 4, hit enter, and then divide by 3. And when you do that, you will get 288. And we always leave pi at the end. And so now you can calculate 288 times 3.14, which gives you about 904.78. And because this is volume, it is miles cubed. All right, so for this example, I just want you to take a minute and take a look at the steps. I also want you to pause the video and try to get those values on your own, specifically the 288 pi. I know sometimes students will struggle with that. Now, could you type in your calculator 4 divided by 3, hit enter, and then multiply it by 216? For sure. That's just what I do. I don't know why I do it. I just do it. And so I like to share my strategies with you. And that's the one thing I miss about being in a classroom, because I don't get to hear your strategies. And sometimes they're awesome. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. That's why I absolutely miss our classroom so much. Okay, so if you feel pretty comfortable, why don't you try this one on your own? Pause the video and see if you get the answer with me. I'm going to go ahead and start just because I already have the radius, right? So if the radius is 4.9, I am going to plug in 4.9 4r to the third power. And I just always like to rewrite my entire equation. And then in your calculator, 4.9 to the third power is going to give us 117.649. And remember then, it's still pi and we still have 4/3. So my strategy, I just like to leave this in the calculator. A lot of times when you have a number like it's a decimal and we're taking it to the third power, there are other decimal places that go past, and sometimes we cut them off. And so it's really valuable to try to be as accurate as you can and precise with your math. And so I just like to leave this in the calculator. Then from there, hit multiply by 4, enter, and then divide by 3, hit enter. And then I have then 156 0.865 pi. And then the last step is to multiply it by 3.14, and when we do so, we have 492.56, and this is kilometers cubed because we are in volume land. All right, so if you did pause this one on your own, I hope you did good. If you have any questions, definitely please email me and let me know. We're going to move on to surface area now. And remember, surface area is everything that you can touch, right? If you're holding the ball in your hand, what is the area of the entire circle? We could even like cut it open and try to do it like a two-dimensional, but there's actually a formula to find the surface area of any sphere, and that is 4 pi r squared. And we're in luck. This first example does give us the radius, so we're just going to go ahead and plug that in. So we have 4 times pi times our radius, which is 5, and squared. A lot of times when I'm substituting in a value for a variable, I'll put it in parentheses. It's just always, I don't know what I do. I find that it's helpful in like multiplying, and sometimes you put in a number and then is it a little dot? I mean, obviously never that x because we're a little past that. But anyways, so then you have 5 squared, which is 25, pi times 4, and 4 times 25 is 100. So we have 100 pi, and then 100 times 3.14 is just 314.16, and this is miles squared because now we're talking about area. All right, so the last example is for you. Try it out. Can you find the surface area of this sphere? What do you notice that's different about it though? It's got a diameter, right? So you need to make sure that you have your radius written down and plug it in. Okay, pause. We're done. We're gonna pause this. All right, welcome back. Hopefully you have the radius as 9. And so we have 4 pi 9 squared. 9 squared is 81 times pi times 4. And 4 times 81 is actually 324 pi. And when we multiply 324 times it by 3.14, we get 1017.36. And this is yards squared. All right, I hope you enjoyed this lesson on spheres, volume, and surface area. Until next time, I'll see you guys. Bye.